Here's some maps that change the way I see the world. This map shows the general term for a big road that you drive relatively fast on, which to me, growing up in California, was a freeway. Everywhere in red on this map says it's a highway, and apparently freeway is in green, but the green is like not even really there. It's kind of like a mix. It has no definition for what the white means, just like they don't even know what a freeway or a highway is. But my wife, being from Florida, definitely always gets on me for calling highways freeways, and you know, I'm gonna call it what I want. I'm a freeway guy. This is a crazy visual of birds migrating, and if you want to like pause and read all the different birds and colors, go ahead. That is so freaking cool. This is a map of Tokyo, but with US city populations in different areas of Tokyo. This is eye-opening. Echo, how many people live in the metro Tokyo area?
The metro area population of Tokyo in 2020 was 37,393,000.
That's crazy. This is a map of Europe showing blue countries are countries where it is not a crime to escape from prison. This is a map of the United States that shows whether a county has more Irish ancestry or Italian ancestry. I am quite Irish, so I fit the mold of the majority of the counties in the United States, but I didn't realize it was that intense. That's pretty crazy. This is a map of the United States that shows what each state has the largest of in the world. Let's dive a little deeper. Texas has the killer bee, terrifying. Why would you live there? Alaska apparently has the largest Santa Claus. Curious the backstory of that. Florida would have the largest alligator, of course. Idaho coming in strong with the largest baked potato. Gotta love it. Go Idaho, land of the potatoes. Illinois has the largest rubber chicken. Also very curious about that. If you see anything else weird on this map, let me know. This shows the percentage of each US state occupied by cornfields. Of course, majority of the country is near zero. And then you have places like Iowa and Illinois and Indiana, where it is over a quarter, basically. Must be fun to grow up there. This is the percentage of homeowners from each US state that always lock their door. Dark blue being the highest of over 90%, which looks like Georgia is the winner with 93%. Good job, Georgia. The lowest ones are in pink, which is about 40%. Or North Dakota, should we just call you out directly and say less than half of you lock your doors? I guess the elks and the prairie dogs can't open doors, so you don't have to worry about it. This map shows how many serial killer victims per 10 million people in the United States by state. The dark red are the worst places, so that's quite a bit of places. And the lightest colors are the least, so North Dakota, you did good this time. That's, I guess, why you don't lock your doors as much. This map shows all the countries that use only one time zone, which I was about to say, could you imagine the United States having only one time zone? It'd be like in Florida. It'd be dark at like 2 p.m. in California at that point. But China uses only one time zone, which is like kind of similar width, right? That's pretty crazy. Most of Africa uses only one time zone. I didn't realize how much of Europe uses only one time zone, but I guess that makes sense, all the little countries. Yeah, we probably shouldn't switch to this in the US, I don't think. Daylight savings, maybe we switch that. This map shows whether you say drinking fountain, water fountain, or bubbler. I remember the first time I heard my friend say bubbler, I was like, what are you talking about? But drinking fountain, grew up in California, drinking fountain is all I know by. So sorry, my Floridian residents that I live by now. This red line around Europe is what it would look like if you lined the Great Wall of China around the continent. I actually just had to take a second. That is absolutely insane. Echo, how long is the Great Wall of China?
It is 13,171 miles long.
13,000 miles around Europe. That's crazy. This visual is showing what the real size of Indonesia looks like, which honestly is pretty bizarre. I know a lot of people live there, but I didn't really realize how big it is. These maps show how many fast food chains are specifically avoiding New Mexico. This is a map of Culver's that's avoiding it. Shake Shack is avoiding New Mexico. Buc-ee's is avoiding New Mexico. Dave's Hot Chicken is not in New Mexico, and most of everywhere else. I just had Checkers for the first time last night, and that's funny that came up here, but New Mexico, they're not in New Mexico. Jollibee's not in New Mexico. El Pollo Loco's not in New Mexico. In-N-Out is not in New Mexico. They're everywhere else on the West Coast there. New Mexico, what's wrong with you to make all of these places avoid you? This is every state's least favorite state. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a mess. There's a lot of colors here. I'm just gonna put the legend up and you can look on your own. Pause and look at these different states as you wish. California hates Texas. Yeah. Texas hates Oklahoma, which is surprising to me. I feel like those two are kind of, a lot of people live in each other's states. Alabama and Georgia hate Florida, but Florida also hates Florida. That checks out, to be honest. All of the entire West Coast hates California. Canada. When I moved to Oregon, I remember the hate that was for California. New Jersey apparently hates everyone. You know, New Jersey, you're not that special, sorry. Let me know if there's any others that you find funny on here. That's a really funny map. The images you're about to see show the light pollution around the world. This is the United States of America, and 80% of the light comes from the East Coast because 80% of the people who live here live on the East Coast. This is what Europe looks like, and wow, that is so bright in those specific areas. I see Paris really bright there, but I didn't realize that top portion above Paris to the right of the United Kingdom was so bright. Africa is not that bright. We got a couple little spots there. The Nile River is really cool to look at the top corner there. Same thing with South America. You got that whole top part where the Amazon rainforest is obviously not bright. Man, the world is so cool to look at. Just the different people living in all sorts of places. India, China, oh my gosh, Japan is so bright everywhere. And then there's Australia, where spiders and kangaroos don't need light. This map shows the legality of Holocaust denial. Apparently it is, well, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of the world, it's legal to deny the Holocaust, but Canada illegal to deny the Holocaust? That's pretty fascinating. Actually, a lot of Europe, I guess that one makes sense. This map shows tiger ownership in the United States. So the light blue bans private ownership of tigers. The dark blue, you have to have a permit to own a tiger. And in these crazy states like Nevada, Wisconsin, Alabama, South and North Carolina, you can own a tiger. This map shows whether you use Android or iOS more in Europe. And that's very interesting that it's like the top half, or not even half, just the top area is all iOS. And then everyone else is Android. You got Switzerland there with iOS though. I am an iOS guy for sure. This is what the Earth would look like if the sea rose 1,500 feet. There wouldn't be much of it left. Click the video on screen if you want to see more maps, because I have covered a lot of them. I love maps. As you can tell, I've got a map back there that I just sometimes look at. Just sit here and look at. But yeah, tons more content here.